I made an assumption. As we all know, assumptions are the mother of all belief, right? Once again, sorry for that. I'm here to talk to you about nothing about technology. I can if you want to, but that's not the topic I want to talk about. The topic I actually want to talk about is numbers, or how they are not representative of how to do proper QA. So a number like 30% code coverage or path coverage, to me, in our organization, doesn't mean a whole lot when it comes to the actual quality of the products we want to deliver. I was supposed to be here, as you can see on the slide, with a co-host, Mr. Anirban Ganguly, better known as Dada, but unfortunately he couldn't get his visa to the UK arranged in time, and he started three weeks ago, which I find is a bit awkward for a former colony of the UK. But let's not go into politics. And move on to, well, that's me, 47. I've worked for ABN AMRO, which is a Dutch bank, for 23 years now, so I claim to know a bit about IT financial institutions. And that's the guy that couldn't arrive, Dada. He's from the Tata Consultancy Group, probably known by you as well. ABN AMRO. Together with ING and Rabobank, we are a top 3 bank, especially in the Netherlands right now. Well, lots of numbers. Most importantly, we do a lot of IT, 1.2 billion worth IT, and a lot of it is outsourced and offshored. And it's outsourced and offshored to mainly Indian companies, such as Tata. Tata is not the only one. We also partner with Infosys, Cognizant, and other firms. But Tata is one of the oldest and longest standing relationships, actually since 2005. No, I won't go into the numbers, but they're based in India, as you can see. Now, what we used to do is settle on a contract with these companies and state, you shall not create more than this many defects in the code. You shall not have more than this many blockers in your code. You shall have a test coverage, path test, unit test, whatever test coverage of at least X%. Did that work? No. Why? Because it is not about the numbers, which is what we noticed. If it's not about numbers, then what is it about? Because this is what we're used to, right? It's easy, we think, to write down in a contract, clearly specify, this is the bar, you shall meet the bar. And they meet the bar every time, and we're still in business. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is the need for speed. Don't know about your organizations, but 2017, we need to deliver yesterday, and we need to deliver with assurance, and we need to deliver structurally, efficiently, well, all the least words. And this is where we come from. Also not surprising, most likely, lots of companies do this, especially big financial institutions. It seems to be, we have time-consuming processes. I don't know whom of you visited the presentations in the other room, but the guy mentioned 18 months. Well, 18 months cycle from start to finish was not, well, is reality. Still is reality, to be honest, within ABN AMRO Bank also. Which of course doesn't work. I don't have to explain that to you, right? So we do late QA in the QA environment, or even in production, having the customer as the tester, right? Even worse. Lots and lots and lots of manual activities, big bang introductions, where everybody goes butt clenched, oh dear, I hope it doesn't explode in my face. And sometimes it does. So frustrated people all around. Dada, Anirban, asked me to highlight the word mantra here because it's, apparently, I didn't know this, but it's from Sanskrit, which is like the origin of languages used in India. And he wanted to put it explicitly in the presentation. Our mantra is to improve agility and reduce debt at the same time. So, well, no more waste, continuous quality assurance, everything fully automated, except perhaps for the manual tests, right, that still have the right of existence. And improve work satisfaction. How do you get there? We In the next slides, I'll focus on the three major topics we feel that are crucial to achieve this. First and foremost, people. I know it sounds like a cliche, right? People are the most important aspect of your company. But if everybody says it, everybody understands it, why don't we always act upon that? That's still, I still ask that question every day. I don't understand, right? We all say people are most important, but then we act completely different. Process and governance, and finally, in this presentation, not most importantly, technology. People. TCS has, I don't know if you know this, but they have 380,000 employees, which is staggering. ABN AMRO has 20,000 in the UK, in the Netherlands. I don't know about your organizations, but 380,000, and the rate at which they came to that number, from 2005, 2004 when they started to now, this number. And it's not about the numbers, so it's not about the 380,000. I mean, IBM has 400,000 employees. It's not about that number, but if you have such large numbers, they have smart people in their corporation. British Airways, when was it, 4 weeks ago? The outage took 2 days, 3 days? Who did the unions blame? Do you know? TCS. Well, not TCS, the company specifically, but they blamed Indian offshoring. That is the root of all evil. Right? I don't know the details. They may have a point there, but I really don't know. The thing is, I know that if you drive Indian partners the wrong way, you may end up in that situation. If you drive is the wrong word. I'm sorry, I'm not a native English speaker, so sometimes I have to look for the proper word, but if you partner properly with these partners, you can get the right result. That's basically the premise of this story. Because among those 380,000 plus employees, there are very, very extremely smart people. Then, to come back to the people aspect I just mentioned, right? We all know people are the most important asset of your organization, and then what do? We bore them with stupid processes. You have to register your hours somewhere, you have to apply for holiday, you have to, etc., etc. That's not what people want. I believe in something I learned from a guy, well, Simon Sinek actually told it, but he copied it from someone else. Never mind, it's about these three things: autonomy, mastery, purpose. Autonomy, you have the feeling that you can do whatever you want to do in the way you want to do it. Mastery, you want to become really good at something, like showing up on time when it's your time for a presentation. Purpose, it has to have meaning. You need to do something meaningful. I happen to believe in these aspects. So if you want to entice people to do a good job, to work hard for you, these are the topics you want to focus on. And then finally, when it comes to people, culture is a big thing. Indian culture, I learned along the way, is different from Dutch culture, is different from UK culture, is different from Belgian culture, is probably different from Russian culture. And it is important. Because I tried my Indian head knot, but this can mean a zillion different things. According to the exact way you move your head, the way the eyebrows are raised, it is in the details. And it sometimes means yes, it sometimes means no, it sometimes means maybe, and that's something you only learn when you spend time with these people and pick up the right signals. Moving on, process and governance. Well, there it is. Is outsourcing evil? I don't know what it is, how it is in your companies, but we of course want to attract the best people in the market. In IT, currently, that's, well, if you just look at the Dutch market, it's virtually impossible. Even if you want to pay a lot of money, the people simply are not there. The graph over there, which is unreadable, says IT staff has risen to the number 2 position in the Netherlands when it comes to hard to find. Number 1 is skilled trades, carpentry, all that stuff, working with your hands. Number 2, IT people, So we still scour universities. We still try to come up with the best package to work for us, for ABN AMRO, but it is impossible. So the conclusion is, you have to partner if you want to stay alive. And you have to select the best partners. And we happen to think data consulting is one of those parties. When it comes to the autonomy aspect, easier said than done, because ABN AMRO, old school organization, it used to be that from my position, which is like in the basement of ABN AMRO, to the CEO, was 9 layers of management. So that doesn't stimulate autonomy in teams. What we've done recently is cut down on the intermediate management levels, and now, from my position to the board, 4 layers. Now that in itself doesn't mean that autonomy is there, but it does help. Combined with the proper leadership, proper examples, the proper mandate given to the teams, this will work. And it's happening right now in practice in my company. That's why I'm proud to work for this company. Reporting. We need to do reports. We need to do from external agencies, from our government, from all the obligations. Well, what we also did was, apart from the external obligations, we created reports internally. The previous speaker mentioned it, right? Like zillion pages thick PDF. Nobody ever read it. Nobody was interested. So we stopped doing that. The only thing we report is what is worth reporting, and it's all automated. So the systems generate what is necessary to know. And we use big data, and we use Splunk, and we use log analysis to get out the proper information. Finally, this is only going to fly if you make it explicit. And funny as it seems, although we had an IT department, we never had an IT for IT department. Now with IT for IT, what I mean is, you have this application, it runs on a certain version of a framework. The framework gets stale, you need to replace it, there's a newer version. Business doesn't care. Framework? What framework? Don't bother me with the framework. Well, but the upgrade of the framework has to be done anyway. In general, technical debt reduction is a serious activity that you cannot always hide under the cover of introducing new functionality. More often than not, I would say. So that's why we created a department that does IT for IT. I actually work in that department. Centers of expertise are part of that. They figure out how to do this technical debt reduction, how to do this framework replacement as efficient, as quick, and with as little impact to the business functionality as possible. Okay, technology, still not most important from my point of view, but it's there, right? One of my favorite things, I also regularly go to India to talk to the developers, to try to change their mindset, to try to understand that they are in control, that they are important, that they have it in their hands to make or break ABN AMRO when it comes to IT. And I tell them, you need to automate everything, basically. Automate yourself away. And this is one of my favorite quotes. It's the dictionary for repetitive. It says, monotonous, tedious, boring, yada, 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 yada. Soul destroying. Who wants their soul destroyed, right? You don't. That's why you need to automate. I'm sorry, to me it's all a cliche. In Dutch is something called the open door, right? The door is open, you don't need to open it anymore, it's a cliche. So why do people not every day automate their work? I don't get it. There's still a lot of people in ABN AMRO going in, doing the same old trick they did yesterday, and then they leave. And they never stop and consider why I need to automate this stuff. Because my soul is being destroyed while I'm doing it. Well, necessary to enable agile mandated Scrum teams that span the globe, because we have teams that sit both in Amsterdam and in Mumbai or in Bangalore, is technology. And although it's 2017, I don't know your experience with conference calls, but they still are not as good as they can be. So we invest heavily in that. So now we finally have a proper AV, and it's possible. You You just need to invest, right? You just need the proper bandwidth to do proper video conferencing. Once you have it, you immediately feel, you immediately notice that it makes a huge difference whether or not you talk over the phone or whether or not you can look each other in the eye as a team. Well, to enable all future developments, we also made explicit within ABN AMRO that innovation is a good thing. We have a department that does innovation. One example, the first speaker of this morning in the other room, Mr. Brian Taylor, he mentioned all the problems, all the challenges in trade settling. I'm IT, so I know nothing about trades, settlement, all that stuff. But what I do know is that he mentioned blockchain. And I know that we participate in the Hyperledger. Hyperledger is an open source blockchain implementation. And it's a solution, looking for a problem. Well, I know the problem is there in the financial industries. Just listen to the trade settlement issue talk of Paul. Brian, sorry. And just one of the examples. We also do stuff with robots. I have no clue whether it's going to be useful ever, but it's fun. This is not for me, this is what Dada invented. He said that QA is not about SLA anymore, but it's about XLA. And XLA is experience level agreement. And it's all about the experience of the customer, first and foremost, but also the employee in ABN AMRO. It should be fun creating this product. It shouldn't be a hassle, it shouldn't be nasty. You should come into work, have fun, because that's when you deliver the best stuff. And in the end, it's about the customer experience. So get it out there as soon as possible so that the customer can actually say what he thinks about it. Right? Idea, next day it's there. Customer hates it, oh, take it back. New idea, next day. That's what we need to go to. So, one more word on SLA. We actually signed new contracts with our application development and maintenance vendors, mainly Indian firms. And they do not contain SLAs anymore, at least not on numbers. Really, it's not there anymore, it's not in the contract. The contract is about, it states explicitly, it's about partnership. It's about this delivering for the customer stuff. That's all I wanted to say. Do you have questions for me?
So I could probably project my voice. It's quite interesting because you talk about working with TCS and the number of people working there, right? 380,000, I can't remember exactly. At the same time, you're saying automate everything, right? Yeah. Isn't that a slight sort of dilemma for, let's say, because they're not here, so they can't represent themselves, but essentially, you'd like to do them out of a job.
No.
To save money, possibly, but I'd be interested in how much, this is something that comes up a lot when we talk to people at other banks and institutions, is where they are on the automation point, right, in terms of how much automation they do. So I hate to mention the other bank in the Netherlands, but ING seems to be quite far up the curve and doing quite well. Yeah. Where are you in terms of automation? How much of your business is automated when it comes to testing? You don't have to answer, we don't want you to give us a rough idea. And what's the long term, what's your vision, where do you want to be?
Okay, that's a lot of questions in one sentence.
Yes.
Let's, in reverse order. Where do we want to be? Well, the idea goes to production automatically, right? So artificial intelligence, I don't know. Yes, we are lagging when it comes to ING. We started later, but we have the advantage of their learnings, basically. So we're, from my point of view, we're catching up real quick. As an example, we're setting up automated delivery pipelines, continuous integration, continuous delivery, CI/CD pipelines for all major technologies, and we have them up and running for, I think, for Java, Microsoft, JavaScript. We're even considering automated pipelines for COBOL on the mainframe. So yes, I do believe that we are picking up real fast. When it comes to your first remark, 380,000 people, aren't you afraid you're all going to put them out of work? No. It is for these companies, but they realize that themselves, a major shift in business case. Because yes, let's face it, what they did was repeat the same old IT trick and sell that a zillion times. That was their business case. They now realize that business case, if we automate that work, is gone. So they do realize, all the way up to the top, they have to change that mindset. And if Anibal was here, he would state exactly the same, that his management realizes this and catches up quickly and trains their people not to just redo the same old trick, but to invest in themselves and to make sure that they're ready for the new business case, which is once the boring stuff, the repeating stuff is automated, we can get to the actual value adding stuff. And then you go into, yeah, what's actually the value add of a bank? And then I stop talking because I don't know. Right, perhaps they will end up working in how to make life on Mars possible, which is what I would prefer actually that they were doing, instead of repeating the same old, let's generate this Excel report thing. And then the question also is, are they all able to make that shift? Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are. At least that's what I hope. No more? Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.